Hey, what's up? Hello, my name is Emma and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my May book haul. So in the month of May, I bought/received 21/22 books. I might have miscounted. I did buy more books than I normally do this month for what I think are very valid reasons, and I'm really excited about this haul that I've gotten this month, so I'm super excited to share those books with you. Because transparency is key on my channel, I do want to give you guys the heads up that this video is being made in paid promotion with Disney Hyperion because they did send me a copy of Wildman by J.C. Geiger this month. Wildman just recently hit stores on June 6th, and it is a super intriguing and very unique story. So our main character's name is Lance, and he's pretty much got it all in high school. He is the valedictorian, he's a first chair trumpet player, but while on a road trip, Lance's car breaks down in the middle of nowhere where nobody knows his name, nobody knows of his accomplishments that he has back home. He's essentially a total stranger in this new world, and somebody refers to him as Wildman. So in this town, Lance is kind of given the opportunity to be a completely different person than he's grown up to be, which might actually be the person he's always meant to be. It sounds like a super intriguing novel about really discovering yourself through adverse situations. The reason I'm really happy Disney sent it to me is because it just sounds so different from a lot of books that I've ever read about before. The plot is so unique, and I'm really interested to see the character growth that I'm really predicting from the story. So thank you so much to Disney Hyperion for sending me a copy of Wildman and again sponsoring this video. It's out in stores now, so I'd really recommend you guys pick it up and maybe we'll both enjoy it. The next book in my May book haul was sent to me by Macmillan, so thank you so much to Macmillan for sending me a copy of The Lovely Reckless by Cami Garcia. You may have heard of The Lovely Reckless before. It's definitely a book I've heard a ton of hype about, but it recently just came out in paperback with a totally new cover. So The Lovely Reckless follows a girl named Frankie who, after her boyfriend's death, kind of loses her drive in life and nothing really matters to her. So she's pretty unfazed when she has to move in with her father, who is an undercover cop, and attend a public school for the first time. Despite her newfound philosophy of nothing matters and don't get attached, Frankie is drawn to this street racer in her new school that provides this life of excitement and newness for her. But you know, like every bad boy in YA, Marco does have a secret, and it leads Frankie to question some things about her past and her future. I really do like Cami Garcia as a person. She's extremely sweet, and I have enjoyed the books that I've read from her in the past, so I'm definitely excited to now have the opportunity to read one of her newest releases thanks to Macmillan. So the first book that I bought in the month of May is A Court of Winds and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I absolutely love the first two books, so I'm super excited to see how I feel about the third one. I'm actually listening to it on audiobook as we speak, and I am really enjoying it so far, but definitely not as much as the other books that I've read and loved so much in the past. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on this one. There are some people that just absolutely love it. There are some others that really loved the first two books but felt a little left down by ACOWAR. And of course, as I've spoken about on my channel before, there is a lot of controversy surrounding some of the characters from the LGBT community that are introduced in this book. I've left some links that I really consider to be good resources in the description so you can learn more about it. But so far, I really am enjoying ACOWAR. It's a series that I have loved so much and does mean a lot to me in different respects, so I'm excited to continue with it. The next book was sent to me by Disney Hyperion as well, so thank you so much to Disney for sending me a copy of The Dark Prophecy, the second book in the Trials of Apollo series by Riordan. Disney had sent me this book when we partnered on a video I released last month that was called my Summer Series TBR, where we talked about a few different series that I was hoping to read this summer, and of course The Trials of Apollo is one, so if you'd like to check out that video, I will link it below. But Riordan is an author that I have loved so much in the past. The Percy Jackson series is honestly just like such a classic for middle grade and YA, and I'm really excited to continue with more of his more recent works. Essentially, The Trials of Apollo follows the god Apollo as he is cast out from Mount Olympus by his father Zeus and forced to live in the body of a 16-year-old, which just sounds like the coolest concept in the world, and I know it has something to do with the Oracle of Delphi, and I feel like we're gonna get a lot of Percy Jackson and Hero of Olympus references, so I'm super excited to dive in. May was a really lucky month for me. I had the privilege of winning two really awesome giveaways for books that I was super excited for. So the first was an Own Voices giveaway that I just had to enter by retweeting on Twitter. I won it, so I ended up picking Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy for its bisexual Own Voices representation. So of course, thank you so much, Eliza, for sending me this copy of Ramona Blue because it was a read I was super anticipating at the beginning of the year. Ramona Blue follows a girl named Ramona, obviously. Ramona's been having a tough time. Her family's life was destroyed from Hurricane Katrina, and they're they're just starting to rebuild. Her sister is pregnant, and Ramona just doesn't fit in as the only lesbian in her community. But Ramona starts to rekindle an old friendship with a boy named Freddie, and she realizes that the label she's always attached to herself might not be what is relevant to her life now. So it seems like this book is really going to focus on the fluidity of sexuality and how you can begin to identify as one thing in your life, but that might not be the way you choose to identify in the future. Again, this is another book that did kind of divide the big community. There are people that feel that it feeds into the stereotype of a right guy can fix a lesbian. But there is the other side, like I mentioned, about people who believe this is a book about the fluidity of sexuality, about how it is not something that is concrete, it is something that can change over time, or there might be labels that you feel fit you at different points in your life, and that's totally okay. But it is an Own Voices novel from a bisexual author, so I'm extremely excited to read it. Thank you again to Liza for sending me this awesome new book. And the second giveaway I won this month was another super exciting diverse read, and that is Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. Again, I just retweeted it on Twitter, and Laura sent me a signed copy that says, "For Emma, I hope you never run out of books," with like out of underlined because it's like girl out of water, you get it, Laura Silverman. This novel follows a girl named Anise who is a surfer and loves living in California, but she unfortunately has to pack up and move to Nebraska once her aunt, who is a single mother, is in a serious car accident and she has to go care for her younger cousins. So Anise is having a lot of trouble adjusting to life in Nebraska because it brings back a lot of really terrible old memories and it makes her feel farther away from home and her friends, but she does meet a one-armed skater. So it seems that Lincoln encourages Anise to step outside of her comfort zone, try new things, and really helps her adjust to this new life, and it sounds so freaking good. I have heard such great reviews for months now, and I really cannot wait to read it, so thank you so much, Laura, for sending me a copy of your book. I'm really excited for it. Next book on my May book haul was actually a book I had previously talked about on my YA mental health fiction releases for 2017, so thank you so much to Harper Teen for sending me a copy of Cat and Meg Conquer the World by Anna Primazza. The thing I'm most excited for about this book is not only the fact that it ties into mental health related themes, but the fact that it is about girl friendship. I love YA romance. Do not get me wrong, it's some of my favorite things to read, but when I find a book that is marketed to me as being solely about friendship, I am sold and so excited to read it. So this book follows Kat, who has anxiety, and Meg, who has ADHD, and these two girls don't really interact until they find one common interest that they have together, and it is a gamer who streams on basically YouTube or Twitch or like those kinds of services. So the two of them end up getting paired together on a year-long science project, and they really find a way to connect to each other through the use of this one person's video, and it just sounds like such a relatable novel. Not only are these characters going through things that some of us may be going through, but also the fact that like you're watching YouTube right now and I'm making YouTube videos, and it's something that ties a lot of us together. So I just feel like it's gonna be a super enjoyable read, and I'm going to be reviewing it later in the year, so I'm super excited for it. But thank you so much to Harper for sending me a copy of this book to review. So like most months, I have a bit of a mini Shadowhunter Chronicles haul. Does it ever end? I don't think so. So this month is May, and we had a really exciting new release for those of us who are Shadowhunters fans, and that is Lord of Shadows, the second book in the Dark Artifices series. So me being me, ended up getting 3 copies. Firstly, I have my ARC Advanced Reader copy of Lord of Shadows, which was so kindly sent to me by Cassie herself and everyone at Simon & Schuster. So I am so grateful for it. Thank you so much, guys. Like, I really appreciate you. I was given this book a little bit early, so I had the chance to read it before release, and I do have my Lord of Shadows complete spoiler-filled review on my channel, so that will be linked below if you want to check it out. I did also get the hardcover edition, and if you didn't know, all of the first editions of Lord of Shadows have on the inside jacket, I just spoiled you guys, there are 30 new runes on the inside jacket of every single first edition. So if you have a hardback copy of Lord of Shadows that has a dust jacket, you most likely have this in it, and it has been so much fun to read through all the new runes as to what they mean and all of these new symbols, which I'm just loving. And then of course, those who know me well know that I had to get the Waterstones limited edition of Lord of Shadows. Only 1,000 of these babies were printed. It matches my special edition of Lady Midnight from last year, and it was just so beautiful. The cool thing about the Waterstones edition is that on the front it has a Cassie Clare signature stamp inside of this wreath with this dagger. There's also a map of Alicante inside, which is super exciting. I have the Infernal Devices and the Mortal Instruments maps, but I'm so excited to have one of Alicante because it just really puts everything into perspective on this fictional land. And if all that special content wasn't enough, there is a deleted scene from Lord of Shadows in the back of the book that essentially features Emma and Julian on Blackfriars Bridge, and they're talking about Will, Jem, and Tessa, and it's just like the most amazing thing in the entire world. I mean, of course, I pulled out my debit card in the middle of class while my professor was lecturing to make sure I got a copy, just like, you know, any normal Shadowhunters fan would do. But I loved Lord of Shadows. That's just a given. I'd really recommend checking out that spoiler-filled review if you have read Lord of Shadows and want to discuss it with me, because it is definitely my favorite book of the year. I'm sure all of you know that already and could have predicted it, but I loved Lord of Shadows so much. I'm so happy to have all of these awesome books, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity to receive them this month. And then related to Shadowhunters, I have a bit of a cool thing. So if you guys have been watching my book hauls for the past couple of months, you've known that I have been getting a few different editions of City of Bones from you guys. So I have a few different languages and different editions from other countries of City of Bones, and it's just like the most special thing in the world to me. I love the fact that my collection is growing, but more importantly that you guys are sending me it from your country, so I just have so many more great memories attached to it, and there's so much more significance. But I did get the German edition of City of Bones from a lovely viewer named Christine, so thank you so much, Christine, for sending me a copy of City of Bones Chroniken der Unterwelt. It's my shitty German, as well as the other lovely gifts, but I have been dying for the German copy of City of Bones. I'm so excited to add it to my collection, so thank you so much. But I did end up getting a second copy of City of Bones in the German edition this month as well, but it didn't have a note, so if you sent me a copy of City of Bones in German and your name is not Christine, thank you so much, but I don't know who you are, so I can't properly thank you, so if it was you, please let me know in the comments. But I am super grateful to have these books, add them to my collection. I cannot wait for my bookshelves to expand so I can just display them in all of their beauty, but I'm really thankful for the gifts, so thank you guys so much for adding to my collection and making me extremely lucky and blessed. So I did get my monthly unboxings up at a decent time this month because it was BEA and I was just super prepared, so I have some Fairy Loot and Owl Crate books for you guys. Obviously, if you haven't checked out those unboxings already, they will be linked below. But the Owl Crate theme for the month of May was Comic Explosion, and the book they included for this month was Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. Eliza and Her Monsters follows a webcomic designer named Eliza who has gotten so much internet fame for being this really successful designer, but in real life nobody knows her true identity. So when a boy named Wallace comes to the school and is like the biggest super fan fiction writer there is for Eliza's webcomic, he thinks that Eliza is just a fan until her secret identity is revealed and everything comes out. I also know that this book does deal with a theme of anxiety, which I am really excited for. This has been one of my most anticipated of the year, so I'm super grateful that Owl Crate has sent it to me this month. It also does have an exclusive cover. I'm not sure if you can tell because it is such a subtle and nice change from it, but the color of the text has changed and the drawings on the front are different than they are in the original cover. So always gonna love those exclusive covers from Owl Crate, but this was such a nice surprise to get this month, so thank you so much, Owl Crate. And then Fairy Loot's theme for the month of May was Warriors and Legends, and the book for this month was Flame in the Mist by Renee Athier. Flame in the Mist is a fantasy novel following a Japanese girl named Mariko who, despite being an alchemist and loving that art, she is forced to be married to the prince of another kingdom. On her way to the castle to meet her future husband, she is attacked by this assassin's guild called the Black Clan. Mariko does survive, but she makes it a point to infiltrate the Black Clan dressed as a peasant boy to find out what their main goal is and why this attempt on her life happened. This is the book I have heard some mixed reviews about, but nonetheless, I love Renee Athier as an author. Her writing style is so beautiful, and I just loved the Rose and the Dagger series. So I'm really excited to read Flame in the Mist. Thank you so much to Fairy Loot for including this in your May box because everything about it was so wonderful. As y'all know, I am a Book of the Month ambassador, so every month I get a subscription of Book of the Month sent to my door, so I have 3 new books I'm super excited to share with you guys. The first is A Million Junes by Emily Henry, which is a book I have been seeing everywhere, so I'm super excited to get it in my Book of the Month box this month. A Million Junes definitely sounds like an interesting novel about family dynamics. June's family essentially has this long, deep-seated hatred for this other family called the Ingerts. June has never really questioned why she's always been cautioned against interacting with them, but she does meet their son Samuel, and they do really connect, and I'm assuming they fall in love. But this connection between the two of them allows them to kind of delve into the history of their families and find out why they hate each other so much, as well as uncover some of the secrets that have been surrounding their very mythical and interesting town. So it sounds like a very different sort of book that I'm excited to read. Then I got White Fur by Giordano Libr. White Fur essentially follows a relationship between 2 girls in 1980s in New York City. Elise and Jamie have come from totally different worlds, and it essentially just follows the stories of them interacting, how their relationship grows, and all of the things that are trying to tear them apart. So definitely sounds like a very different novel, not like anything I I actually have on my shelf, which is usual for book of the month for me, so I'm super excited. I'm always loving how they expand my reading tastes. And finally, I got Chemistry by Wei K. Wang. Chemistry follows a Chinese protagonist as she's entering her 3rd year of the graduate program at Boston University for chemistry. So Chemistry follows this protagonist, who currently doesn't have a name in the synopsis, as she navigates the next 2 years of this program while she is kind of dealing with the failure of her research and the struggles of entering a field that she might not be as passionate about as she was before, in addition to the marriage proposal from her boyfriend, who has had no struggles among his academic life. So it just seems like a really interesting novel about, again, personal growth, about overcoming adversity in your way, and it sounds like something I'm really interested to read. So because this was the month of May, which means it was a month for great YA releases, I could not help myself but get the hardcover of an arc that I really loved earlier this year, and that was When Dimple Met Rishi by Sandhya Menon. I loved When Dimple Met Rishi so much. This book essentially follows 2 Indian protagonists as they both attend the same summer program for coding. Dimple is a coder. She's really passionate about her future. She really wants to develop an app and make a difference in the world, whereas Rishi's intention of attending this program is to get closer to Dimple because he doesn't really care for coding. That's not his future goal in mind, but because the families of Dimple and Rishi have kind of set up a suggested arranged marriage because they think they would be a great fit for the future. So this summer program is a great way for them to meet and hopefully fall in love. Of course, things don't go that easy because Dimple does not want an arranged marriage. She wants to find love on her own, but she really wants to focus on her future and increase her education. So it's just a disaster of a book filled with so many lovely, funny, literally laugh out loud, hilarious moments, but also a little bit of heartbreak and some struggle that just has such a nice balance between the two. I just absolutely loved When Dimple Met Rishi. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for a super cute summer contemporary, and especially because it is an Indian-owned voices novel. It is absolutely fabulous. I would highly recommend When Dimple Met Rishi. Please pick it up because it just came out this past May. This month I did receive a surprise little package in the mail from Swoon Reads, so thank you so much to Swoon Reads for sending me a copy of Internet Famous by Janica Stone. So Internet Famous sounds like a really interesting novel. It follows a main character named Madison who has reached the peak of internet fame with her fandom-based website. Her reach has gone global and she ends up in this super steamy romance with a French dude, but suddenly there is a troll in her comments that is out to tear down her success, and it is up to Madison and her friends to stop this troll before things get messy. It sounds like a really interesting novel that focuses on the balance between internet fame and real life and how social media can impact our reality. As I was flipping through the book, I do see that there are some text messages and such inside of the book, which always adds to the story in my opinion, so I'm really excited to read it. So thank you so much, Swoon Reads, for sending me a copy of Internet Famous. And although this is an arc, Internet Famous is now out into the world, so you can pick it up if what I have just described interests you, but I know it interests me, so I'm excited to read it. Next book on my May book haul was sent to me by HMH Teen, which is a publisher that I have been so in love with lately. I just spoke to one of the representatives recently about their upcoming releases for the rest of 2017 and 2018, and my god, do they have some amazing books coming out. But they did kindly send me a copy of Nice Try, Jane Sinner by Liani Olke. This book hit shelves January 9th of 2018, and it has been sold to me as such a fantastic novel that I'm really excited to read it. So our main character's name is Jane Sinner, and she's recently been expelled from high school, so to kind of compensate for her time, she enrolls in a community college and ends up on this student-run reality show called House of Orange. It already sounds so quirky and fun. So to Jane, House of Orange just seems like something to kind of pass the time, to maybe win a car while she settles into community college, but it does seem to be this kind of new opportunity for her with all of these people that don't know what she did in high school or anything of her past. As the show picks up quite an audience, Jane becomes more motivated in life and wants to prove to the world that she has something that she can really show for herself. So I think it definitely sounds like a really unique novel and something I haven't really heard about before, but one of the things that like really interests me about this novel is that the main character is interested in psychology. As many of you may know, I am a psych major. I am about to get my degree in December for my bachelor's in psychology, and I'm really excited for it. But I never have read a book about somebody who is interested in specifically psychology. I've read a few books of people who are interested in maybe areas of psychology, more related to kind of forensic psychology, but I'm really intrigued to read a book about somebody that shares the same interest as me. It sounds fantastic, and Tara, who is the woman that sent it to me, has just absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited for this book, and it does come out in January, so be sure to add it to your TBRs. And so the final 2 books on my May book haul I bought because June is Pride Month. While I think it's extremely important to read books featuring characters from the LGBTQIA+ community all year round, we should not only be reading these books in Pride Month. I do want to do a recommendations videos for some of these books involving these characters, so I picked up a few that I'm hopefully going to read very soon and be able to talk about in that video. The first is The Melody of You and Me by M Hollis, which is a novel with a pansexual main character. This is actually a novella. It's only like 170 pages, and I recently read another novel featuring an asexual main character that was only a novella, and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, so I figured The Melody of You and Me would be a really great read for me. So her main character's name is Chris, and she's recently dropped out of university as well as ending her long-term relationship with her ex-girlfriend, and she doesn't see a lot of aspirations in her future right now. She's just kind of spending time working at a bookstore over the summer as well as playing her guitar. So Chris ends up meeting a new bookseller in her bookstore called Josie, and they form this really nice friendship that does seem to delve into more, and it's just all about their relationship over the summer, and it sounds super cute and fluffy, and I'm really excited to read it. And so the final book on this book haul that I picked up for Pride Month is another book with a pansexual main character, because I feel out of all of the LGBT themed books that I do have on my shelf and have been reading, pansexuality is a theme that I have been kind of neglecting, and I'd like to remedy that. So I did pick up 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate. I have heard really great things about this book in addition to Riley Redgate's other books, so I'm definitely going to be starting with this one and hopefully read more of their books in the future. So 7 Ways We Lie has 7 protagonists, which sounds like a lot for me, especially because I went through this whole phase of like not being about multiple protagonists at all, and 7 is a super high maximum for me. But each of the main characters does represent one of the 7 deadly sins, which is an interesting concept within itself. Essentially, a school scandal pops up as there are rumors of a student-teacher affair that have been affecting the whole student body, which is all about these 7 characters and their reactions and experiences while the scandal is going on. I've heard great things about the pansexuality rap, and I also have heard that there is an asexual character in this book, though don't quote me on it, I could be wrong. Nonetheless, I'm really excited to read it. I'm just living for all of these contemporary novels featuring diverse characters, and it's been such a great experience to invite some freshness into my reading routine, and I'm really loving it. But that is really it for my May book haul. I am super satisfied with all of the books I've got this month. I'm like really excited to read each and every one of these. Please feel free to let me know in the comments of this video if there are any books on this haul that you have read or heard things about that make you excited to read it, or did you love them or hate them? And of course, let me know your favorite book that you read or bought in the month of May. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon for a new one. Bye!